G'day guys, it's Mitch Robinson here. Welcome to the Solid Axle Swap series. Today's episode, basically I'm just going to be getting started on the car, showing you guys what I'm going to be using for the solid axle swap and how I'm going to be doing it. A couple of the reasons why I chose to go a certain way with things, and yeah, getting stuck into it. So far the car's been pulled apart, all the front ends out, getting ready just to cut all of the old subframes out that hold the steering rack and that sort of thing, because they're all going to be in the way for the front diff. I've stripped down the diff housing and they're sitting under the car right now just so I can get a feel for how things are going to work. I'm just going to eye up some radius arm locations and that sort of thing, because this isn't a kit that I'm using. I'm doing this all by myself with the help of a couple of mates where I need it. There is obviously a couple of kits available. I know of the J-Race kit, which is very thorough, full sheet metal diff housing and everything's like perfect for this car. But it's way out of my price range, and I think it's a bit nice for this because it's a bit of a fucking bush pig, if you know what I mean. So I'm using an 80 series front diff, 79 series DPF radius arms that are going to be flipped, just because they give a bit more room off the chassis where they bow out at the front. 14-inch coilovers, which are going to be a bit of a mission to fit in because they are fucking big. 80 series steering box, drag link, all that good stuff. Yes, that's basically it. Before we go too much further into it, heaps of people are going to be wondering why I didn't throw GU diffs under this. I originally wanted to, but my good mate talked me out of it because they're just massive. They're too big for these cars. Even fitting an 80 series diff under this is going to be a mission, trying to get some sort of decent up travel out of it. Throwing a GU diff in, which they're big, it's just going to smack the motor, it's going to drive like shit, you got no ground clearance. 80 series diff and these are big as well. They're still going to be a pain in the ass to make that fit properly with the coilovers, but it's a lot more user friendly for packaging, and they're strong too. The CVs are big, the only downfall is the centre, but there's a couple of things we're going to do to that to make it a bit stronger as well. So last weekend we got the housing out, stripped all the old brackets and stuff off from the stock 80 series locations, so we'll cut to that clip now. And then last night I got to the shed, got a bit of a head start, took all the IFS componentry out, and that's ready to go to the bin. A few people are buying a couple of things out of it, but that's gone. And yeah, now we're ready to go full steam ahead and cut all of our subframes and stuff out, things that we don't need. G'day, so thank you for watching the video. We'll just sort of run through a couple of things that we ended up doing in this episode. You would have seen that we've stripped our housing, got it under the car, and got it to the stage where our chassis side radius arm brackets are welded in. I had to make a couple of changes because there wasn't much room for what I was doing, so the arms have gone back under the diff. As much as I would have liked to run flipped arms, just for the extra bit of ground clearance geometry wise, there's a big argument. I'm not going to get into it, but won't really make that much of a difference. Regardless, the best thing that I could do would be to put longer radius arms in at some point. So for now, that it's going to stay under the diff for packaging reasons. All the N70 guys that have done it will probably know, or they'll know how fucked you have to put your shocks on angles and stuff to get them to clear everything, especially in articulation. You have to run your coils in mad angles just to get them to clear without scrubbing your tyre. And then you have to push your radius arms out so far that your coil over tabs are literally nearly on the balls of your diff. People will say it's not true, it's whatever, there might be another way around it, but I spent a lot of time looking at it and it just seemed like the best way to go forwards. We've got our coil towers drawn up on CAD, we've got our chassis bracing drawn up, so all that's getting cut now. Should have that to me in the next week or so. So I can weld that in and I can have the whole car basically ready to go back on its wheels. So next project we're going to do now is we're going to jump onto doing the rear end. Hate it or not, I'm putting a GQ diff in. They match the track width of 80 series pretty much perfectly. They're a bit smaller than an H260, I'm putting an H233. So I'll still be able to get good travel numbers and shit out of it and have decent ground clearance. It'll be plenty strong in the car, even with 300 horsepower. So I've decided to fuck the second fuel tank off as well. I'm going to do a real 4-link in it. Down the track I might build a tank that can hold up to like 120 litres or so. I'm just going to rock what we have for now and just make it work. So I've got to draw my 4-link kit up, map that all out, cut all the shit off the GQ diff, weld all that on, get that back in the car. And I'm going to be leaving that coil over, sorry, just for the sake of I'm going to probably be using the car to do a bit of towing and stuff in the future. Just with other things coming up in life, probably want to start looking at doing a race car in the next couple of years. So it'd be nice to have a sort of reliable everything car, you know, towing, camping, four-wheel driving, that sort of thing. So you guys can look forward to that, and I appreciate you guys watching. I'll be back in a few weeks with another update. Thank you.